Hello everybody, Mark Clark here again with Clarky's Closet, a podcast. Today we're going to do mixed songs 2, whatever I've called it, a mixture of songs from over the years. Hello everybody, nice to be with you again. I hope that you are all very well. Today is a mixture of things, as I just said. The first one is a very unusual song for me to write, but Clive Clayton, the grandfather, a very good friend of mine, Wayne Clayton, who actually, just by the way, wrote Wear a Yellow Raincoat, or at least he wrote the words to it. Does anyone remember that one? Wear a yellow raincoat if you're out in the wet. Wear a yellow raincoat, the best protection yet. Well, he wrote the words to that. And I don't know if he wrote the tune, he might have done as well, but he wrote a set of lyrics about the Australian light horse, and I put it to music. So it's words by Clive Clayton and music by Mark Clark. It's a march, and we did it with the Lancer Band at the Parramatta Barracks. And we also did it at the Opera House. So here it is. This is a march I wrote. I don't know how, because I'm not used to writing for bands of a military nature. I don't know how difficult some of the lines were for some of the players, probably not written appropriately. But nonetheless, this is my march and Clive's march, the March of the Australian Light Horse.
When their country called, they came from north, south, east and west, from cities, farms and mountain ranges, each man to do his best. They were an unknown quantity, as fighters an unknown lot, till first they joined in battle, then the whole world got a shock. From the shell-torn beaches of Gallipoli, through Egypt's burning sands, from the mud of France and Flanders, then back through the Holy Land, they burned their names in history, this mobile fighting force. The men of the mounted infantry, the Australian Light Horse. They fought their battles differently, these men from the Southern Cross, like the way they left Gallipoli with not one number lost, like the way they strode the desert sands to help the Allied cause, then took Beersheba with fixed bayonets on the back of a charging horse. From the shell-torn beaches of Gallipoli, through Egypt's burning sands, from the mud of France and Flanders, then back through the Holy Land, they burned their names in history, this mobile fighting force. The men of the mounted infantry, the Australian Light Horse. They'll always be in our memory. Their glory can never fade, like the Revenge at Sea fighting 53 and the charge of the Light Brigade. Time can only add to their fame as this world spins on its course. Fame to the name of the ALH, the Australian Light Horse. From the shell-torn beaches of Gallipoli, through Egypt's burning sands, from the mud of France and Flanders, then back through the Holy Land, they burned their names in history, this mobile fighting force. The men of the mounted infantry, the Australian Light Horse. Those men of the mounted infantry, the Australian Light Horse.
What a good band, huh? Really good band from Parramatta, the Lancer Barracks there. That was, look, the years do get away, don't they? I can't remember exactly how long ago that was. My son was very young. I think it was in the late 90s. But it was great to be privileged enough to do that, and I thought that the words were exceptionally good by Clive Clayton, so I will never forget that experience. I really enjoyed that. So, next is a song that could possibly be in a musical of some sort. I don't know why I wrote it. The song was actually on Apes and Angels, which was brought out in 1989. So here's a song called Most Amusing.
for dinner and you spill the soup upon my lap. Well, that's that. It's not so surprising. I should have realized why, baby. Just this morning you were warning me that you would get me back. As the guests are running helter-skelter, I wish to hell we had a maid. The boss's wife is vaguely wise. You say you're sorry, but I don't believe you. Most amusing, that's most amusing. Is that the best you can do? Put on your gloves and come out fighting. Is that the best you can do? Bring on the entree, please. Most amusing, baby. I can see victory written right across your face. As the guests are running helter-skelter, I wish to hell we had a maid. The boss's wife is vaguely wise. You say you're sorry, but I don't believe you. Most amusing, that's most amusing. Is that the best you can do? Put on your gloves and come out fighting. Is that the best you can do? 'Cause now the fight has really started. Is that the best you can do? Put on your gloves and come out fighting. Is that the best you can do? Come on, bring on the entree, please. Most amusing. That's most amusing.
And I must note Dee DeMarco's lovely voice in that song. Thank you very much for that, Dee. We worked in Bawdy Bill's theatre restaurant for some time together, and she would be laughing if she cast her mind back to that for various reasons. It was pretty good fun. Some interesting characters. Okay, so the next song, it really is a mixture of things today. I just thought I'd throw this one in. It's a kiddie song, a children's song. I noticed a lot of people were interested in the children's songs. But this is one that didn't make that particular album. However, I quite like the song, and it was recorded with a very good friend of mine and very good producer, Craig Calhoun. And it's a very simple recording of a very simple song, but I think little kids would like this one. It's called Simon Says.
Here's a game that you can play, but you have to do what Simon says. Whatever you do, don't do anything if Simon doesn't say, okay? Okay, you have to do what Simon says, okay? But if he doesn't say, don't do anything. Simon says to sit on the floor. Simon says to sit on the floor. Simon says to sit on the floor. Now stand up again. I hope you're still sitting down. Hope you didn't stand up, because Simon didn't say. Simon says now all stand up. Simon says now all stand up. Simon says now all stand up. Now sit down again. I hope you're all standing. Hope you didn't sit down, because Simon didn't say. Simon says put your hands in the air. Now jump up and down. Come on, jump up and down. Simon says put your hands in the air. Now jump up and down again. Hope you didn't jump up and down, did you? Because Simon didn't say anything about that. Simon says to touch your nose. Simon says to touch your nose. Simon says to touch your nose. Now go on, touch your toes. Hope you're touching your nose now and not your toes, because Simon didn't say. Simon says to turn around. Simon says keep turning round. Simon says stop turning round. Now turn around again. Did you start turning round again? Oh no, Simon didn't say. Oh, Simon says pretend to comb your hair. Simon says pretend to comb your hair. Why don't you pretend to brush your teeth as well? Whoops, Simon didn't say. And Simon says sing, Simon says. Simon says sing, Simon says. Go on. Simon says sing, Simon says, 'cause that's what Simon says.
I love it. It was just obviously, I was listening to that. I thought I'd listen through because I haven't heard it for a long time. And of course, that's just a rough. That's not a final version. You can even hear the phone go and at the end, and also me on my creaky old chair there smacking away at the guitar. But I think the song's there, isn't it? It's good for little kids. It's pretty predictable once you get a bit older, but I think little kids would have a lot of fun with that. However, I have probably done Craig a slight disservice. If you're listening to this, Craig, I'm sorry about that. He's a very sophisticated producer. That was just a quick recording we did prior to getting down to writing the whole album. So the next song is called I Want. It deals with a subject that I've dealt with a couple of times in songs, that of allowing materialism to get the better of you and maybe even destroy your life.
He said, do you want to be mine? She said, yes I do. Then she said, I want a ring, I want a big white wedding and a limousine built for two. So he said, I want a nice big house and land. And she said, I want our family to be planned. And he said, I want another block of land. And she said, I want one, two. So he said, I want a stereo, a video, some golf clubs, a bar, and a color TV. And she said, I want a dishwasher, clothes dryer, microwave, oven, and a second TV. So he said, I want a private study of my own. She said, I want another extension on the phone. He said, I want some time to be alone. And she said, I want some too. So he said, I want. And she said, I want. And they said, I want. I want some too. So he said, I gotta get away for a couple of days because you're nagging me all the time. She said, that's cause we're up to our neck in debt and jaw drunk all of the time. So he said, I want simply to be free. And she said, I want simply to be free. So he said, I want to get a divorce from you. And she said, I want one too. And he said, I want. And she said, I want. And they said, I want. I want some too.
That was recorded with the 4-track that I borrowed for a short time and had that big 80s drum snare in the background. So the next song is called Beneath the Southern Skies. And I was thinking about my daughter going over to Tennessee, which she has just done. As I sit here talking in early June, she's over there getting things organised. And also in LA and in the UK doing some recording for a new album. But this song was imagining her over in the States and thinking about home and the connection between the two.
Stars will far above my eyes in Nashville, USA. And I thought of my home and Australian skies 9,000 miles away. And though the sky looked different, I soon came to realize that I was home, away from home, beneath the southern skies. Oh, that's right, beneath the southern skies. Oh, that's right, beneath the southern skies. And the stars were wheeling backward over Nashville, and the Southern Cross was nowhere in the sky. And the moon was hanging upside down, but I soon realized
came to play some music and to sing some songs for you. To hear you play some songs for us, some country and some blues. Your southern hospitality is gracious and abides, and I feel home away from home beneath the southern skies. Oh, that's right, beneath the southern skies. Oh, that's right, beneath the southern skies. And the stars were wheeling backward over Nashville, and the Southern Cross was nowhere in the sky, and the moon was hanging upside down, but I soon realized that I was home, away from home, beneath the southern sky. It is often said that the road ahead is heaven from our side,
but this much I can tell you all as I watch the stars at night.
I feel home away from home beneath the southern skies. Oh, that's right, beneath the southern skies. Oh, that's right, beneath the southern skies. And the stars were wheeling backward over Nashville, and the Southern Cross was nowhere in the sky, and the moon was hanging upside down, but I soon realized that I was home, away from home, beneath the southern skies, beneath the southern skies, beneath the southern skies. And that female voice was, of course, Imogen Clark, my lovely daughter, whose lovely voice was on there. Thank you very much for singing for me there, Imogen. Yeah, I was also thinking about a couple of Imogen's friends and people who are already over there, expats, Australian expats in America trying to make their way. And that's where that song came from. Okay, final song for today also features Imogen Clark. We are singing together again. And this one is called 20 Years or So From Now. And if you were listening to the first season of this show, Song 9 was about a musical that I wrote, but I've never actually written the script for, School Reunion. So this is a song about, well, you never know where you're going to end up. You know, the kids in your class at school who maybe were a bit nerdy, or maybe they ate alone at lunch and nobody really liked them. They were thought dweebish, etc. Well, some of those people end up being your boss, don't they? Some of those people do very well in life. I usually find people who are single-focused are the ones who do particularly well. So this is a song about where you might end up 20 years from now if you thought you were pretty cool at school. Let's have a listen to this one. Or so from now, you're gonna be surprised who's cool. Let me tell you, children, it won't be those who hated school, who got all the laughs 'cause they got all the girls, who got all the boys who tossed their curves and laughed at you because you weren't good looking.
20 years or so from now, you're gonna be surprised who's doing well. And let me tell you now, it won't be those who gave their teachers hell, who hated their school and they hated the rules, and they thought that achieving at school was uncool. Who'll be the head chef? They'll be doing all of your cooking.
20 years or so from
soul from now. Winners or losers and ringmasters, they're clowns. 20 years or so from now.
While the bullies are sweating for $10 an hour.
20 years or so from now.
They'll wish they had tried harder at school.
Cause they got no future, they got no skills, and they're killing their fare with smokes, drinks and pills. In the unemployment line, they ain't quite so good looking. 20 years or so from now. That seems like forever, but it soon comes around. 20 years or so from now.
Winners or losers, the ringmasters, they're clowns.
20 years or so from now. While the bullies are sweating for $10 an hour. 20 years or so from now.
They'll wish they had tried harder at school.
They had tried harder. They had tried harder. Wish 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 they had tried harder.
So be good and polite to your teachers, kiddies. There's a lot of rudeness around in the world, don't you think? Is it my imagination? Am I just getting old? Oh, yeah, well, don't answer that. It's true, I am getting old, but, it's kind of rude when you say to a kid at school, I mean, as a teacher I'm speaking now, could you do that, please? And they go, no. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. And then you've got parents saying, oh, he just won't go to school. She won't listen to me. Oh, God, it grates on me. But who cares? You don't care. You don't care about that. You're just here for the music, not my opinion. So, next week, we're gonna have a listen to some more love songs, would you believe? Another 5 love songs coming at you next week from Clarkie's Closet. Get over to markclark.com.au if you get an opportunity and have a listen to Love Songs 3 next week. See you then.